Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We are back for a deadline stream for Game Week 2. Hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, how you doing, Jordan? First deadline stream for me this season.
Yeah, welcome back to the fantasy football. It's exciting bank holiday weekend, and it's going to be exciting fixtures for Saturday. The early one being Man United versus Brighton, so eagerly waiting to see that. But yeah, there's a few things to talk about. I think in terms of injuries, I think from both of our teams. But we've got this hour to break it down and finalise the final team going forward into Game Week 2.
Yeah, I'll let you go through your team. I'm just going to quickly go grab some tissues, Jordans, if you don't mind. Just go through your team.
Yep, that's cool. So, as you see on the screen, guys, this is my Game Week 2 squad. There's a few changes from the team selection, obviously due to the injury updates that we've had. So, starting in goal, we've got Flecken. The back three now is Robinson, Hedrick Porro, and Kwanzaa. In the midfield five, there's Saka, Fernandez, Diogo Jota, Salah, and Gordon. And up front, we got Muniz and Isaac. And on the bench selection, we've got Vardy, Marson, Byrne, Davies. And obviously, Solanke is not going to be available for Game Week 2 due to his ankle injury that he sustained. So, yeah, obviously, on the top of things, Kwanzaa and Solanke are pretty much ruled out. So, I'm going to switch Byrne for him and put him on the bench. So yeah, it turns out I am going to play all my all my Newcastle players when I expected not to. I was hoping Kwanzaa was going to be fine, but turns out he's not. So I'm going to have to play Byrne instead. I don't expect a clean sheet, if I'm honest, against Bournemouth away, especially when Newcastle's away from in the past hasn't been that great either. So wait and see what happens though. Might be a surprise twist in that fixture, but I'm not expecting a clean sheet. I'm thinking more of a draw, if anything. So I think both teams will score in that game. In terms of captaincy, though, I have Captain Salah this week. I don't think because he scored and got an assist last week gave me an influence of captaining him. It's just because of the fixtures that surround my whole team. It's either Muniz or Salah that is pretty much a given choice. So I'm going to take my chance on Salah this week. He did look really good last game week against obviously Ipswich. So yeah, and that's at the Anfield. So it's a home fixture, which is even more beneficial, I think, as well. So I was tempted at captain Muniz, but I didn't want to go full board on that, especially with Leicester drawing to Spurs 1-1 in the opening game week. So I'll be looking to see what Muniz does anyway during that fixture if I am to possibly captain him in the near future if the rest of my team has a bad fixture. But yeah, that is currently my starting 11 on the screen. I don't think it's going to change at all. Even though the injuries from Kwanzaa and Solanke have appeared, I think I'm still going to roll my transfer over into next week where I'll have 2 in Game Week 3. And then possibly I will make some changes to the team regarding Solanke or Kwanzaa.
Okay, nice one. But yeah, I think I don't know if you touched on it. I'm sure you have. Solanke getting injured. I don't think it's a serious injury. You're probably just out for Game Week 2. And Kwanzaa did pick up a knock on Tuesday, apparently, according to Slot, and then might have missed training as well. So, and even then, we were expecting Kwanzaa to be dropped for Konate, but it seems like he's got an injury on top of that. So, a couple of benching issues there for yourself. Obviously, not a great bench, but everyone in your starting 11 is fit to play, so you should be fine there.
Yeah, I think it's crossed because I don't want Davies coming on for someone because I expect Man City to score a few against them.
Yeah, no, I understand. Let me show you my team. So here's what I've got at the moment, guys. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to move it across. So yeah, in goal, I've got Dean Henderson. I'm playing a back three of Trent, Saliba, and Robinson. I've got the midfield four of Eze, Saka, Nkunku, and Diego Jota. Then up front, I've got Isak and Wood, as well as Haaland as well. So that's the team. On the bench, couple of issues. Ola Aina is flagged currently, so I don't know how fit he is to start that game for Forest. Rogers is there for backup if I need a bench player. And then we know Barco has now moved from Brighton to Sevilla on loan, so I will have to be taking him out. Unfortunately, it's one where we all got wrong. A lot of us expected Barco to get minutes for Brighton, but he's been loaned out, so that's something I'll have to deal with later on. If you've got Barco, I don't recommend doing a transfer on him because I think his price will be locked at 4 million now, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that's one you can sort out at a later date. So as you know, I've got one free transfer as well in the bank. The current plan is to just roll the move and have 2 free transfers for game week 3 when I think I will probably need it. What I'm looking at in the future, I'll show you guys, with my transfers for next week, so game week 3. So I'll have 2 free transfers. So what I'm thinking of doing is possibly taking out Nkunku, depending on how he does against Wolves, because he did play and score a penalty actually in Chelsea's conference fixture. The player I'm thinking of is Smith Rowe, potentially bringing him in, and he's cheaper as well. So that saved me $1 million here. So that gives me 1 million in the bank, and if I can upgrade Wood to a 7 million striker, which I don't know who I'll do. I really want Solanke. I know he's injured, but anyway, I can try fit Solanke in. He's 7.5, so it's a bit more tough. Or even a Kai Havertz, who I do like the look of. So, I mean, at that 7 million price mark, there isn't much really. I mean, Chris Wood is probably the standout pick. There's Muniz as well, who you can go to, who's 6.1 after his price rise, I think.
Well, have you considered a Leicester forward like Vardy, for example? He did score against Spurs in everything game.
I had Vardy. Remember, I had Vardy in my team. If you guys remember my first ever draft, I had Jamie Vardy, and everyone was like, "Take him out." He's not going to do anything. But no, I'm not looking at Jamie Vardy, to be honest. Not anymore. I want Solanke or Kai Havertz. I think. What's the price of Kai Havertz at the moment? 8.1. So more likely Solanke. So let's say Solanke comes into the team, right, for Chris Wood in the future. That's one move I'm looking at. I'm still short, so 0.5 I have to get from somewhere else. So I don't really know where I'll take that money out of. Maybe someone like Ola Aina to a 4 million, but then it gives me a very weak bench. I could do I don't want to go Rogers to a 4.5. So that's the problem, I guess, having the Haaland in your team and then Isak as well. I've got Saka. Yeah, Saka might be one that we look to get rid of, I think, potentially. In game week 4, where we got Spurs and Man City back to back, Leicester. So I've seen it was for Aston Villa even this week. So Arsenal's next 4 on paper are quite tricky. Villa, Brighton, Spurs, and City, and 3 of them are away. Villa, Spurs, and Man City all away. So if Arsenal can get through that next 4 fixtures, a few wins under the belt, that should be a good little run there. But yeah, I do want to have Salah as well in my team somehow, but it's going to be tight to bring Salah in, because you look at Liverpool's fixtures right now: Forest in 4, Bournemouth. I really love to have Mo Salah for game week 4 and 5 when he's got Forest and Bournemouth, because I think he's captain worthy in those games. But yeah, who would you take out, Jordan, from my team to somehow bring Solanke in, or are you not fussed about Solanke? Because I know you're an owner. He looked good in game week 1. To be fair, I don't need him till maybe game week 5. I mean, game week 3 and 4, Newcastle and Arsenal.
Yeah, you can probably afford to take him out during 3 and 4, obviously, because the fixtures are difficult. It's probably the focus point of taking him out, because he's out injured for short term, so you probably won't need him for the current moment. Best to go with a better forward with better fixtures. Again, it's a bit tricky because you have Haaland in your team, and he sort of makes up money for 2 different players because for 50 million. So it's hard to obviously work around that. But
yeah, what I've done, I've taken out Saka to Salah, and I've done Smith throw in for Nkunku. I still leave me 1.5 short for Salah in. Maybe I can take Chris Wood out and get a cheap 4.5 striker. That's the only way I can bring Salah in. I'm probably going to do this, by the way. So let's say I just bring in a random 4.5. I don't know who it could be. Let's go Ladapo at Ipswich. So that gives me Salah in 3 moves. And it makes me take out Chris Wood and Saka. That is something I could potentially do game week 4. If I really want Salah, if I see he's having a really good game against Brentford, if it's something I want to do. So yeah, there's options there for my team. So I think I want to roll this week though. I'm happy with the way my team looks like, assuming Nkunku starts, and then make my decision next week when I've got 2 free transfers going into game week 3.
Yeah, because he played about an hour in yesterday's football match, so he didn't play the full 90, so that's hopeful. He could possibly start for Chelsea.
Yep. Dan says, what about the new Bournemouth striker? You're going to need to remind me who it is again. What's his name? I'll check him out. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's the Brazilian, isn't he? I think he's Brazilian. Evan Nilsson. Again, it's hard to say, until I watch him play. He's not someone I'm looking at, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sort of wait and see how he does.
Yep. Just go with a comment. Hey, I have a question for you both. Which 2 would you start? Watkins and Nkunku and Hall? I mean, I'll still start Watkins if you're an owner. I know he's got Arsenal, but at 9 million, I'd want to start Watkins as I wouldn't want to be wanting to bench him because he can, and he is capable of scoring against any team. And in Nkunku, I probably would start him as well. I know he played 60 minutes. That gives me a bit of confidence that he's been taken off early, so he's ready for the Premier League match. So I will probably play the 2 attackers and then bench the Hall. In my opinion. What about you, Jordan? I know you've got Hall, I believe, haven't you?
I got Dan Burn.
Oh, you got Dan Burn, sorry.
Yeah. I'll probably start Watkins and Nkunku as well, because that Newcastle game, I don't expect a clean sheet against Bournemouth, especially with Newcastle's away form last season being really poor. Doesn't feel with much confidence. So I'll definitely go with the attackers, see what Watkins and Nkunku can do.
Yeah.
Even though it's a hard fixture, Aston Villa have vastly improved underneath Emery. And they had good results against Arsenal last season. They managed to draw and win against them. So there's hope that we'll possibly do some upset in today's game, in Arsenal's game.
Also, next week, game week 3, you're going to have 2 free transfers as well. What are you thinking, longer term? What's the next moves next week?
I haven't really thought about it, if I'm honest, for the news next week. But
who's in your team that you think is possibly sellable, that you can get away selling? And anyone that you're looking at potentially, if they don't have a good week, that you could get rid of?
It would be Bruno Fernandes if he doesn't have a good match against Brighton as the Man United asset. I quickly transferred in before the deadline stream ended in game week 1. He's 8.5 million, so that does relieve a lot of money to downgrade him to a cheaper midfielder who possibly has better fixtures and form, because Man United's first game week form was terrible. So I have to wait and see what he does today in the early fixture.
And what players are you looking at on your watch list? Like, is there certain players, 1 or 2, that you're thinking that you want to have in your team that you don't have at the moment?
There is the Toma possibly for Brighton. I know their fixtures are a bit up and down, but I mean, they look pretty good against Everton, scoring 3 goals. That was very unexpected. And they even kept a clean sheet, which was very rare for them last season. So he's in my watch list as one of the players. There's also in Burmo. I mean, the news of obviously Tony possibly leaving or imminently leaving Brentford. That does provide Brentford attackers like Burma or Wissa with some more action in that sense up front. And probably the third one I'll say on my list is actually no, there isn't a third one. Yeah, it's just those two, I think, for the moment.
Okay, so you're looking at Mbermo and who was the other one? Matoma. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Looking back to my team, obviously there's a main one I'm looking at, Salah, potentially, if I can fit him back in. We'll have to see if that's possible. I like Solanke as well. Potentially, I like Kai Havertz, another one I do think is a good pick. Kai Havertz, but he's expensive now, 8.1 million after his price rise. So it's going to be hard to fit Kai Havertz in, but I think he's a good pick playing up front for Arsenal. So those are the sort of players I'm looking at in the forward positions. I like the rest of my team. I like Eze. I'm happy to own him. I think Jota's a great pick for those that don't have Jota. And he also, for me, if you Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, I expect a lot from him this season. So I think if you've not got Trent, then you might want to consider looking at that as well. Ali Max is Nkunku out for Doku, a good move. So yeah, with Nkunku, he played about 60 minutes in the Conference League match, I think against Servette. Nkunku did win and score the penalty for Chelsea, and then subbed off. So I personally would give Nkunku another 1 game or 2 games. I wouldn't be moving him out yet. I think first game was always going to be tricky against Man City. That's not the game we bought him in for. We bought him in for fixtures like Wolves, fixtures like who's he got next? Palace, Bournemouth, West Ham. Yeah. These are the games that we bought Nkunku off. I say give him Wolves. If he doesn't start the Wolves, then yeah, you'd probably look at taking him out. But I don't see why he shouldn't start against Wolves. I mean, what do you reckon, Jordan? He scored and got subbed off after 60. Is that a positive for Nkunku owners, or do you think he's going to get benched?
Yeah, that's a positive because if he played full 90, then I'd say no, he's probably not going to start. Obviously, this game against Wolves, but because he only played the hour and he even scored a penalty too, which is a lot of positivity, especially if you own him.
Which shows, like, if Palmer isn't on the pitch, Nkunku is probably obviously second penalty taker.
Yeah, that's right. So there is also that as a bonus as pen taker over Palmer as well. So yeah, there's all these good signs that he should start against Wolves away, and hopefully he does get his first return for Gameweek 2, because at that price he is a steal at 6.5. So I think he is worth the money if he can get the returns in for Chelsea.
Yeah. Dan the man, I thought I heard Postecoglou mentioning Solanke might need international break to recover. Could be out for more than a week. If that's the case, then we'll reassess Game Week 3. On FPL, it says he'll be back Game Week 3, but again, that's one to watch for Solanke owners. I do think Solanke is a good pick. It's just a bit unfortunate. I think he only missed like 3 games as a Bournemouth player. In the Prem, so yeah, he's not a player that usually picks up injuries, so it's a bit unfortunate for those that went there. Elika says, hi, do you expect Newcastle to keep a clean sheet? Is it Bournemouth they've got this week?
Yeah, they got Bournemouth away, and no, I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet. If anything, I see a draw from that fixture.
Okay. Dan says, I need to take out Wood as well. Looking at Muniz or Mateta, but not high on the list. So I mean, I've got Wood, Chris Wood. So I just think with Chris Wood, you don't want to take him out this week. I personally don't think it's worth it. He did score in Game Week 1, got the 9 points, which was nice as a bit of a differential. And I don't think many people have him in their team. So
yeah,
he's now owned by 8.3%.
What I like about Chris Wood is he's in the right place at the right time for most of his goals. And just like that in Game Week 1, where obviously the goalkeeper parred it off and Chris Wood tapped it in, it just shows that he has that sort of insight of where to be in the right place at the right time to score the goal.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be from a straight shot. He can benefit from obviously being it parred off from another player or the goalkeeper.
The only worry is obviously Forest, I believe, are buying another striker. They've got Awani still there. We know who can play, and he's a decent striker, Awani. So that's the only worry, concern long term with Chris Wood. Is he going to lose his place? But I think you want to keep Chris Wood at least for Game Week 2, maybe even Game Week 3, and then look at it then if you want to take money out your team. Because assuming you've got Haaland, you've got Isak, Chris Wood is quite an expensive third striker if you've got the front line I've got. So to take money out your team, drop Wood to maybe a 4.5, and then use that money in midfield if you want to bring in a Salah, if you want to bring in an Arsenal mid, etc. But I'm quite happy to play him against Southampton away in Game Week 2. I do expect Chris Wood to cause a few problems there. TH11, guys, do I sell Trippier because he's 6 million and didn't play last week? So yeah, let's have a chat on Trippier. So it's come out according to David Ornstein that Trippier is looking to leave the club, and I think Everton are now in for Trippier. So yeah, if you have Trippier, guys, I think 100%. Unfortunately, he is a sell. I expect him to move before next week when the transfer window shuts. And even then, if he does stay, I don't think he's first choice. I think Livramento is a great option now. I think 4.5 isn't he, Livramento, Jordan?
I think he is. Let me just double check.
Yeah, I think Livramento is the one that's going to be starting every game. I think Trippier is firmly now a bench player, and he looks like he's going to leave as well. So yeah, if you've got Trippier, guys, I'll just get rid for 6 million. I mean, you can upgrade it to Trent if you've got $1 million in the bank spare. I think Trippier to Trent makes a lot of sense.
Yes, he is 4.5 mil, Livramento.
Yeah. I think Livramento at that price is fantastic, by the way. You can't get much better than that price.
And also what's better is, now that Trippier is gone, we saw obviously last season, he'd get most of the bonus points over a player like Livramento or Burn or Botman. So now that possibly Trippier is gone, Livramento could be the replacement for getting the added bonus points too on top of that.
Yeah, there are some decent 4.5s, and obviously Livramento is probably one of the better ones. There's Robinson, Fulham. We know Vandenberg. Sepp Vandenberg has moved to Brentford as well. He's going to be probably a starting centre back at 4.5 for Brentford. So a few options there. Robinson or Smith Rowe to start, and who to bench? I'll probably start Smith Rowe, the attacking player.
See, this is where I'll go with Robinson, because I don't know how many minutes Smith Rowe is going to play. I know that first game week he didn't play the full 90, and that's
how many minutes did he play? I'm not sure.
It was about 74 minutes. Smith Rowe played. I mean, it was a substantial amount, but it wasn't the full 90, and that's expected because he's just joined Fulham. But I don't know with Smith Rowe's minutes at the moment. I think he needs time to obviously adapt and get back into the swing of things, because he hasn't really played that much football, especially with Arsenal previously. So I think I'll be playing Robinson. He's nailed. He's got attacking threat, and I like the fixture that he has against Leicester. Yeah,
no, fair enough. I think Smith Rowe is a great pick, but yeah, as you said, he could get taken off at 70 while he builds his sort of fitness up. Also, FPL MFZ talking about Haaland triple captaincy. I know it's not one we've discussed yet. Haaland is a popular captain pick this week. He's got Ipswich away. Is it Ipswich away, or is that? Sorry, it's a home fixture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a home fixture.
So it's a very good fixture for Haaland. It's probably one of the best fixtures he's going to get this season. We saw Ipswich though against Liverpool in that first week. They gave it their all in that first half. Pressing Liverpool, they were aggressive. But in the end, the quality did show through, and Liverpool could have easily won that game 4 or 5-0, guys. So Man City, I'm expecting quite a big score in the end, maybe 3-4, even 5-0 for Man City. And Haaland, it is a potential. I don't think triple captaincy is a bad idea, because we've seen it before where in a double game week, Haaland he might not get that many goals, but in a single game week, he might just get a hat trick. So, what do you make of people considering Haaland triple captaincy? Is it something that you would consider if you had Haaland, or would you rather save it for a double game week?
I think I'd rather save it for when he has 2 fixtures. I mean, by that time he could possibly be injured or rested or whatnot. But I feel like you'll make the best of it when you have obviously 2 fixtures over 1. I know that's a good fixture against Ipswich, and we're probably expecting a big score from it. But sometimes it can be too good to be true. We've seen in the past, I think with Foden, he captained him when he had a nice fixture, like an Ipswich, and then turns out he blanked. So triple captain Haaland, I can see why, because it's like a great fixture, and we saw how Ipswich was against Liverpool, and we know what Man City are capable of. But it's still something I don't think I'll do on a
Are
single
you
game.
worried as a non-Haaland owner as well this
Oh,
week?
actually, no, not at all. Because
You're
of
not worried?
Haaland, not right. Because of Haaland being 15 million, it's that variation of teams now where not everyone is going to own Haaland. So
Yeah.
less ownership on him. There's more variations. So even if Haaland does well, like
What's the
like
ownership?
for Gameweek 1, for example, where
54%.
yeah, so 54% is not so bad. When last season he was about 85, almost
Yeah.
90% owns. So I'd be more afraid if he was that owned, obviously at this current moment. But because of his low ownership at being like almost over half of FPL owners own him, it's not as bad, I don't think. And he does score a hat trick, then yeah, it does get a bit more edgy when you don't have on at all.
Yeah.
But
I think Haaland, he's capable, guys, of getting a hat trick. In my opinion, this is a match. Again, we'll have to see how he does. I personally, I'm not triple captaining him. I'm going to leave that for a double game week, I think. But yeah, captaincy this week. If you've got Haaland, I think it's a no-brainer. Personally, if you've got Salah, if you're non-Haaland owner, you've got Salah. I think Salah's also a good pick against Brentford at home.
yeah,
And also, I mean, I don't think there's any two other options apart from Salah Haaland this week. But I think Haaland definitely is a standout captaincy over Salah personally for me.
plus, plus it's
Yep.
so early on in the season. There's still a lot of players that we yet to see their form and talent that could equal Haaland as well this season. So I don't want to use it too early. I do want to use it later, see what players develop through the season. Maybe there's a better choice in Haaland in this fixture against Ipswich. Maybe there's others like Kai Havertz, for example. He's looking pretty good too.
It's just one thing about this season, guys, to bear in mind is there's not going to be as many double game weeks as previously due to the new Champions League format as well. The way it's going to be the fixtures, I believe there's going to be fewer double game weeks, but we should still have double game weeks, but it might not be as big as from last season. I have triple Fulham, good idea. Robinson, ESR, and Muniz. Also triple captain Haaland this week, or wait till double game week. We've just discussed the double game week, whether you should captain now or wait. We're personally going to wait. I think I would rather wait for two fixtures over one. But in a single game week, he doesn't get much better than Haaland at home to a newly promoted team. So it's one you got to make the call. Triple Fulham though as well. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that triple Fulham. I think that's probably the best triple up on Fulham you can possibly get with Smith Rowe, Muniz, and Robinson. You could go for Andreas Pereira instead of Emil Smith Rowe if you're debating minutes over each other. But yeah, I feel like that's probably the top tier three you can have for Fulham.
Yeah, I mean, looking at my team, I've only got one Fulham player. I could potentially bring in a second with Smith Rowe. So yeah, they look good. Decent business as well over the summer. We're interested to see where Fulham finishes season. Would you bench Chris Wood or Rice? I think you've got to bench Declan Rice. I think Wood's got a decent fixture. More likely to get a goal, so I would play Chris Wood.
Yeah, I'll do the same because Rice is one of those in terms of FPL options. He's not very He's got those attacking returns. He's more of a defensive midfielder, so I'd go with more of the attacker from obviously Wood.
Yep, Dan the man as well. When do you think Darwin Gakpo becomes a problem for Jota owners? So, obviously, as a Liverpool fan, answering this question, from what I see, from what I've seen in preseason, and the general feeling around the whole Jota conundrum is that we expect Jota is now the main man. He's number 9, and as long as he's fit, there's no one taking his shirt. I don't think. It's firmly Salah on the right, Jota down the middle, and then Diaz probably on the left. Now, Darwin and Gakpo, Liverpool got a lot of firepower up front. They've got players like Darwin and Gakpo who can make a difference on the bench. But I don't think they're a problem for Jota. So if you are a Jota owner like myself, like Jordan, I don't think you should be worried. I think Jota's going to start every game as long as he's fit. The only problem with Jota is he's injury prone. He does tend to miss quite a few matches through injury every season. So Jota probably will get injured, as he always does every season. And that's when Darwin will probably come in and feature. But as long as he's fit, guys, you shouldn't be worried about Jota. I think Jota is a fantastic pick at his price, 7.5 million, playing up front for Liverpool with all the chances they create with Salah, with Trent, feeding the balls to Diego Jota. Already had a price rise, 7.6 million now, and his ownership's only 19%, so it's not too high. So I wouldn't be worried about him being misplaced by Darwin. I think Darwin and Gakpo are firmly in the camp of they have to impress now to get back into the team, because Jota, we know how clinical and deadly he is in front of goal.
Yeah, Jota's like the second best Liverpool asset you could possibly own besides Salah, in my opinion. Like there's no other player in Liverpool in terms of attacking I would go for that. Obviously, he's starting that 11, and the manager seems happy to go with that.
Yeah, I think Jota, I expect him to start every game now. Transfer Rice got 8 million. I mean, if you've got 8 million, players I like around that price range. Again, Diego Jota. I think bring Diego Jota in at 7.6 now if you haven't got him. Eze's a nice pick as well if you want someone like Eze. I think Eze's. I'm looking forward to see what he does this season with Palace as well. I know they've lost a few key players, but Eze around the 8 million mark, there's quite a few options. But I like Jota and Eze at that price point. Is it a good idea to transfer Hall for maybe a Mazraoui? Nah, I don't see the reason why you do that now. What do you make of it? I mean, Man United have just signed Mazraoui. He had a lot of transfers in. I think he's the highest transferred in player this week.
Yeah, I think that's because of the clean sheet that Man United managed to get in the first, obviously, game against Fulham. But he's got Brighton. It's an early fixture too, so I would say don't back the early fixture because anything can happen in those. And I'm not sure Man United. They get clean sheets, but it's not convincing yet. I want to wait and see.
Yeah.
Unless it's obviously for price and value, you're doing it for the transfer. But other than that,
I think there's no point taking out Hall for switching a 4.5 to another 4.5. You'd rather use that transfer on much more important, positions like the attack in Game Week 3. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be doing defender switches right at the moment. I've got Barco, you see, on the bench. He's gone on loan, so I just don't see it as our priority right now.
Yeah. Plus, even though Newcastle switches don't look that good, like you mentioned, Elika, I still think I would rotate on the bench. Obviously, Hall, if you don't prefer him, for another player that has maybe a slightly better fixture rather than transfer him out altogether.
Dan the Man as well says, gives me more confidence on him then. Thanks, Jota differential captain. Now, if you've not got Haaland in your team and you're rocking a Salah only draft, then you could potentially go Jota to be different. Now, it's not something I'd probably do. If I've got Salah, I probably would captain Salah over a Jota, but we saw Jota could have easily had 2 goals at least. He scored 1. He missed a sitter from Trent's lovely delivery. So he should have had a couple. So yeah, Jota, you know what you're gonna get with Jota. He's gonna be in the box. He's clinical, and he's playing up front for Liverpool. So he's not a bad shout as a differential if you really want to be different. Caceres, hi guys, good to be back after some time since last season. How you guys doing? Yeah, we're doing well, thank you. Not too bad. Nice to see you as well after a while. Jenny says, thanks guys, have a great week. Yeah, have a great week, Jenny. Hope you're well. Also, guys, make sure you do hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're tuning in. We are very close to 1.2k on the subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button as well when you tune in. Oh, I bought Anderson because of Crystal Palace. Good defense. Now, since he moved to Fulham, should I transfer him out or keep? If you can get away benching him for now and using him as a Fulham player, then I probably would just keep him. But I think we're going to need to save our transfers now for the attack, because in Game Week 3, if you can put out a starting 11, I wouldn't be moving Anderson out. I just think we're going to need transfers for players like Salah, potentially, Liverpool assets or even Man City assets that you want to bring in. So
yeah,
I personally would roll if you can and have 2 free transfers, unless you've got major issues in your team, injuries, flags. If you've got Barco, Solanke, Kwanzaa all on the team or something like that. So I would roll.
Hopefully not, because that would be very unlucky to have all those players in your team. That's a lot of surgery.
Yeah. Also, Konzo's obviously had a price drop. Yeah, so you might as well better off just keeping him, I guess. Who to start, Jordan? Raya at Villa or Henderson at West Ham at home? I don't see a
I'll
clean
start.
sheet for either, to be
No,
fair, but
I don't see a clean sheet for either, but I'm thinking of the save value. I think Henderson could possibly get more saves from his
yeah.
West Ham at home fixture, and maybe nick a clean sheet if he's lucky.
No, fair enough.
Because I feel like that Raya versus Aston Villa one's going to be cagey, grindy, tough one.
Yeah. Dan as well says, who are the main fullbacks for Jordan when Shaw is back? Obviously, we know Shaw's injured. Shaw and Dallo or Mazraoui, what's going to happen to him? I mean, hard to say, really.
Yeah, it's hard to say, especially when Shaw hasn't really played that many minutes at all, so I don't expect to be back anytime soon. So I'll probably say it's Dalot, if I'm honest. I'm not sure about Mazraoui.
Mazraoui,
Mazraoui about his minutes, but I think for the time being, I think the manager prefers Mazraoui.
yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah, I think Mazraoui is obviously a new signing. Again, it's just one game. I do think it is very knee jerky to bring him in. Personally, I mean, what's Man United's fixtures like at the moment? I've not actually looked. I mean, I know they've got Liverpool in Game Week 3.
Yeah, they got Liverpool. Then they got Southampton, Crystal Palace in 4 and 5, Spurs and Aston Villa in 6 and 7. So it's a bit mixture.
Yeah, for me, I've not got any Man United assets in my team. I think they are a wait and see, especially in defense. The only players I've been looking at to bring in, if you're a Man United, if you want some Man United players, is probably the attack. Someone like Bruno, or someone. Yeah, literally Bruno is the only one I think you would be looking at. You could go for someone like, obviously Garnacho was one we spoke about a lot before deadline, but he was benched, didn't start in our game week 1. So yeah, I wouldn't be going. I mean, even Xerxes and things like that, they could rotate out. They could start Garnacho next game. So I expect Luke Shaw to come back in and start, to be fair. I think Luke Shaw will start. I think Mazraoui, I mean, he had a decent game, but I'm not sure if he's going to displace Luke Shaw if he's fit.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's a start. I think he's just like a fill-in for Luke Shaw until he's back fitness. And then Mazraoui, yeah. Until he's obviously a reserve for sure in case anything happens to him.
What are your thoughts on Bernardo Silva as a punt? Would you go there? I mean, what's your thoughts on Man City midfielders?
I would go for a punt on him. I would either go for him or Doku for this week because of the fixture against Ipswich. I think for this game week, I could afford to go for one of those two. But yeah, I think Bernardo Silva as a punt is good. Man City are going to play really, really far ahead in that game. They're going to be really up in Ipswich's defence, and any player on that team could possibly score a goal in that starting 11.
We also know Gundogan has returned to Man City after the 1 year at Barcelona. He's returned, so that's going to bolster Man City's midfield again, options-wise. So again, interesting to see what Gundogan can do back at Man City. We know he was a great pick as well in FPL for a couple of seasons where he did, score really high points. So one to watch on Man City, but I'm not considering Bernardo Silva. I just don't like the rotation risk with all those players. The only player, Doku, maybe upside there potentially, but I it's too much rotation risk for me personally. Dan the man as well on Jota last week. If he scored that header from Trent, could have easily been a 16-pointer. Yeah, that's what we were saying. There's a lot of upside with Jota, and even, I mean, Trent. I think for me, I'm just going to say this early. I think Trent is the best player in the game right now. I think Trent at his price, he's only 1 million more than the likes of Gabriel and Saliba. And for what he gives you, like he got an 8-pointer. That could have easily been a double-digit haul. And the way Liverpool are playing, I know if you guys managed to watch the fixture against Ipswich, the positions Trent's taken up in the second half, he was unbelievable. So I just think Trent's going to have a big season if he stays fit. I can expect him, getting a lot of assists in this slot system that is sort of different. A lot of people said it's similar to Klopp. I don't think it is. I think the build up is slightly different. And yeah, Trent's one to watch. I think His ownership is still quite high, 31%. I expect, big things from Trent this season. So, yeah, definitely for me, he's a must-have right now. And I can't wait to see what Liverpool do actually against Brentford as well.
Yeah, first home game at Anfield. I
Mhm.
think it should be a good performance, similar to the Ipswich second half one.
Yeah.
Obviously they fired back on all cylinders in fifth gear.
Yeah, first half was a bit of a struggle for Liverpool.
Yeah, it
I thought
was.
Ipswich caused them problems. They were aggressive, but in the second half, Liverpool sort of got back into it and sort of showed their quality. Elika as well bought in Kamada as a differential. Should I stick with him or go for another 5.5? If you've got him in, you're better off just sticking with him. I think you don't want to be making too many of these moves with low upside moves potentially. So I would just probably keep Kamada for now. I can't afford Vardy. Which other City defender would you go for? Rico Lewis potentially. I know he started, got a bit of attacking threat potentially. So Rico Lewis maybe if you want to go Man City. That's the only other player, but I think Vardy is a standout Man City option in terms of nailedness. Could potentially get you a return. Rico Lewis for this week isn't bad. It's just I'm not sure how long he keeps his spot for when Kyle Walker, etc., come back into the fold. Dan also said Trent can keep some clean sheets getting subbed off after 60 for Bradley. Yeah, so Trent, could get more subs, which mean he could lock in a clean sheet this season. So we know Bradley is a very capable option as well at right back for Liverpool. He's looking good. So you do expect some competition there. But, Trent should start majority of games. I don't expect Bradley to take the Trent position yet, but definitely as a sub, you can see a few more subs for Trent. Caceres, yes, agree. We'll probably start Henderson as a Konza substitute on my bench. I have Rogers, Konza, both Arsenal at home, not too great. Yeah, it is one of those. I mean, you're a Konza owner, Jordan. It's a bit frustrating, I guess, as a Konza owner. A bit unlucky as well because he did start game week 1, but then no one saw that coming, sort of, where he's been subbed off at half time.
Yeah, I don't own Konza.
Oh, you don't own Konza?
No, I don't own Konza.
Oh, why did I think you did? You sell him more.
No, I never had him. I've only had Burn, Porro, Robertson, and Konza.
You got him on your bench. Sorry, you've got Konza on your bench though.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Konza from the Caceres' comment. Because
my. I mean Kwanzaa, Gerald Kwanzaa, Liverpool.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, of course. Yeah, that was an unfortunate move, obviously, especially with his price drop now. I can't really take him out for another 4.5, which is annoying.
But yeah, in terms of Rogers and Konsa, I know they got similar names.
Yeah.
Both Arsenal at home. Yeah, I think Rogers is a decent pick. Still at his price, 5 million. So he played 90 minutes, I think. So it's interesting to see how he gets on this season. But yeah, those are pretty much the teams, guys. Yeah, it's easy to mix up, guys. The Konza and their Kwanzaa.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Also, guys, there's only, I think, 15 minutes now. It's gone quite quick. 15 minutes to the deadline. Yeah. Lock your teams in. I've gone Haaland captain. You've won Salah, right?
Salah captain, yeah. It's like Salah versus Haaland. For us too.
Yeah, Salah v Haaland. I had Salah in my draft all along. I never had Haaland, and I swapped to Haaland literally before a couple hours before the deadline. So again, I think Salah's a great pick. I think Salah's going to break 200 points potentially again. I know there was concerns of Salah last season near the end where he wasn't scoring, but Salah looks as sharp as ever. From that first game, what we saw, he looks good. So I expect another good game from Liverpool. But I think Jota is one that I'm quite excited to see what he can do as a Jota owner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I missed out a lot on not having Salah last season from the opening game week because he always has a good start from game week 1, and thought this time round, own Salah, see what he can do, start of it, and take a punt. And so far, it's worked out well. Hopefully, the captaincy for this week pays off too.
Do you think you'll ever get Haaland back in? Have you looked at a point where you want Haaland back in later, or? You're just gonna rock
Mate,
one.
I have looked around like 7 or 8 game week, like around there, where the fixtures sort of possibly swing a bit more into Man City's favour. I mean, for the time being, I'll see what Haaland does because at 50 million, I expect him to score like 2 or 3 goals every game week for that price. Not like 1 goal, maybe an assist, for example, because that's just too much. Plus, you'd be captaining him every week if I was owning Haaland at that price too.
Yeah. But I mean, there could be an early wild card this season. Seen a lot of people talk up an early wild card, like game week 4, game week 5 wild card. So we'll have to see. Depending on the wild card, he lets you reset the team. Obviously, you can include Haaland back in or have both. I think Salah, Haaland. I've seen teams that look like they've got Haaland and Salah. They look very good. So, yeah, we'll have to see who wins this one. I guess Salah v Haaland this week.
That's it.
Who should I pick between Munoz and Watkins? I'm not sure if Palace will keep a clean sheet against West Ham, and I also think that Watkins will struggle against Arsenal since the defense is so good. I'm playing Watkins personally.
Yeah, because the thing is, after Arsenal, Watkins' fixtures drastically changed to go very good long term. So
I still think he's capable of scoring against Arsenal. I think Watkins and Aston Villa themselves are very good. So
that's it. They got the quality and talent. So even that's a tough game, there's still possibly goals from both teams.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any leaks?
I haven't seen any leaks from Man United squad.
I'll have a look.
Because Sol's wondering whether to drop Ahmad for Rodgers because he's not sure whether Ahmad starts.
He started for game week 1, didn't he, Ahmad?
Yeah, he started game week 1. It's hard to say.
I probably would just keep him. If you've got bench cover, you better off just keeping Ahmad for a bit longer.
Yeah, especially for Rodgers. I think I'll just keep Ahmad. And like Hussein, just have bench cover for him because I don't want to be using. You don't want to be using a transfer to take out Ahmad in case he does start, and then maybe you get something from that game for Rodgers. Could be a transfer that could be worth saving up for another move in game week 3.
Yeah.
But Harry Davis did say Ahmad had some unfortunate news, so I'm not sure if he will play.
So I've not seen any of the news regards Ahmad, so I'm not sure.
A close family relative passed away. So,
okay.
Yeah,
okay, so then you'd expect him probably to not play. So yeah, I'll say if you've got bench cover, then you just keep him on a bench and see.
TH11 says, "Is it bad that I have Guardiola, Trent, and Porro all in my team? Should I transfer one and get a better midfielder striker?" I think it depends, obviously, on what your midfield and strike looks like, TH11. But that is a lot of money in your defense you've invested.
I mean, that's a great defense, though. Like, that's probably one of the best defenses you can have in the game. Like Trent, I think you've got to have him. Porro again scored in game week 1, should be fit. We know he's going to play game week 2. And the Vardy is probably the best Man City pick and defense as well. So you've got a really good defense. Interested to see what the rest of your team looks like. Also, Cáceres, have to go now. All the best, everyone. Yeah, all the best to you, mate. I hope you're well. Good luck as well for game week 2. FPL stock broker. Triple captain deactivated. Remember, FPL is a marathon. Yeah, FPL definitely is a marathon, not a sprint. As 38 game weeks, guys, you will get opportunities to triple captain Haaland, but I don't think it's a bad pick as either if you do want to triple captain him this week.
Yeah.
Who to bench out of Porro, Hall, Trent, Munoz for Kamada, or bench Kamada? I'd probably bench Kamada. maybe Munoz to defender, but he's got some attacking threat about him. So
yeah, I bet we mentioned Hall.
Yeah, Hall. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Only United League I've heard is Xerxes starts, says Ali Mack. Again, obviously not confirmed, but
Interesting.
he did score game week 1 for the Man United 1-0 win, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah.
Don't forget Villa ruined Arsenal's season last year, not once but twice. Yeah, Villa did beat Arsenal both times, so I think it's not a foregone conclusion that Arsenal just turn up and win. I think Villa is a tough game now in the Premier League, and Villa have a good squad, so I can see them causing Arsenal some issues there. Which should be interesting. I mean, I've not looked at the fixtures because I've been so busy, I've not had much time to look at all the fixtures. Let's pull the fixtures up. So we've got quite a few matches today. 7 fixtures. So we've got Brighton, Man United at 12:30, which I'm excited to watch. I'll be watching that one. We've got Palace, West Ham at 3 o'clock. Let me just share my screen. We've got Palace and West Ham at 3. We've also got Fulham playing Leicester. So interested to see what Smith Rowe can do for those owners. I've got Robinson myself. I'm looking forward to Palace and West Ham, obviously, as an Eze owner. Man City play Ipswich, so all eyes on Haaland for the captaincy pick there. Southampton Forest as well at 3 o'clock. We've got Spurs and Everton as well. We know Solanke's going to miss that game, so Richarlison could come back into the fold. And then 5:30 today, we've got the big one. I say probably the standout fixture, Villa against Arsenal at home as well. So
that's a great
that
fixture.
Should be a good game.
5.
Yeah, should be watching that one as well. And then Sunday, we've got 3 games. We've got Bournemouth, Newcastle, 2 o'clock. Wolves and Chelsea as well. And then the late one is Liverpool, Brentford, as well as a televised fixture as well. So again, some good fixtures this week. We're back again on Sunday. Obviously, we'll be streaming tomorrow around 7 o'clock after the Liverpool Brentford game. So do tune in to see how we got on with our Game Week 2 teams as well.
But yeah, it's a good, nice break up of fixtures Saturday and Sunday, I think. A lot of exciting ones in there.
Just take a few more comments. Is Haaland playing? Yeah, I haven't seen anything to suggest he won't.
Well, if he is, that's good for us. Non-Haalanders.
Made a mistake by putting Keane. Should I transfer him out for Robinson? If you've got playing bench, then I wouldn't be making any defender transfers. If you've not got 11 playing players, then yeah, do it. I think Robinson is a decent pick. Starting Murphy over Zinchenko, doesn't that sound good? Yeah, if he starts, Zinchenko, don't expect a clean sheet from Arsenal personally myself, but and a lot of people seem to think Arsenal will keep a clean sheet, but I can have a feeling that Villa might score today. But Arsenal will probably win that game. I have Raya, Saliba, Saka. I hope Arsenal win and keep a clean sheet. And I think Kulu is a good punt as well for Spurs.
Yeah, possibly. Kulusevski. It's a bit maybe underlooked.
Yeah, his ownership's going to be low.
Yeah,
expect it to be fairly low. But yeah, guys, get your teams locked in, your transfers, your captaincy, your bench order. Let us know who you guys are captaining as well. Are you team Haaland? Are you on Salah? Are you going for someone else? I mean, who else is there? I mean, Jota, I do like Jota. If you don't want to go Haaland or Salah, Jota's my vice captain, so I think he's a decent punt.
Yeah, I think Muniz as well could be a risky but fortunate captain to go for against Leicester at home.
Interesting.
I was one of my favourite players to watch last season, so eagerly looking forward to his match.
Comment here as well from LA Knight. Get Gakpo out if so. Suggestions. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to remove Gakpo. I don't expect Gakpo to be a starter anytime soon. Obviously, we expect Jota to be the main man up front. Salah's there. Diaz looks like he's sort of nailed the left wing, which is a surprise. I expected Gakpo to possibly start left wing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Sorry, guys. Just let us know in the chat if you can hear us. I think the audio just cut out there for a second. But yeah, in terms of a Gakpo, I think you've got to have him as a pick. If you've got Gakpo as a pick, you probably want to take him out for someone like Jota if you can afford it.
Yeah, there's a few obviously selections to go for.
Sorry, So, Jordan, I think you cut out there for a second.
Yeah, I did cut out there. Everything froze, and I think I'm back now.
Yeah. Another comment. Hey guys, joined the stream a little bit late. Hope you're well. Haaland triple captain too early. Yeah, we've discussed this one, but just quickly, with Haaland, I think he's a good pick for triple captaincy this week. If you want to go for a single game week fixture, it doesn't probably get much better than Haaland against a newly promoted team. But personally, I'm looking to save it. There will be double game weeks to come later down the line, so I'm going to save my triple captaincy for a double game week. But if you want to go early, if you want to use it on a single game week fixture, I think this is one of the fixtures that you'd want to target. Haaland at home to Ipswich, and we saw Ipswich did tire in that second half against Liverpool. In the end, Liverpool could have won, 4 or 5-0. So you can expect Man City to do something quite similar. But Ipswich did look quite good in that first half. They did cause Liverpool a few issues due to their aggressiveness and just how, aggressive and in the tackle they were going for every ball. They were pressing well as well. So excited to see what Ipswich do as well. But I don't expect them to get much from City. I think City will be too strong.
I think the only thing that puts me off of triple captain Haaland, if I did have him, is the amount of players that could possibly score in front of him instead, because everyone in that team would want to score a goal today against Ipswich. They know how the team is, they know the conditions, obviously, and they're playing at Etihad. So there is going to be a variation of goal scores as well that could maybe take the front foot off of Haaland a bit.
Yeah, I still expect Haaland to get a couple today, though. So we know Haaland's on penalties as well if he gets a couple of penalties or open play goals. But yeah, I like it. Haaland, if you've got Haaland, I think definitely captain him. Triple captaincy, I'm not going to go there myself, but I always prefer double game weeks myself. No Haaland for me, so got to go with Salah, says Harry. Good luck, guys, as well. Thanks for the great content, as always, says Dan. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. As always. Make sure you guys do hit the like button, please. If you're in the stream, get those likes up, please, and also make sure you are subscribed if you're watching for the first time. But yeah, there's literally about 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go
For the deadline. I think Game Week 3 is going to get interesting because obviously most people will start making moves, I think, in Game Week 3. But we are now, due to the rule change, you can roll up to 5 transfers now. So you don't have to make a transfer next week, guys, if you've got 2. But I don't see a stage this season where most people will have 5 saved up. I think there's always going to be an issue that crops up, as we've seen with Kwanzaa, Barco, Solanke, etc. So yeah.
That's it. It's nice to have it though, just as a reserve, because it's like a mini wild card having 5 transfers. If you can't make it in 1 week, that's almost half your team changed in the starting 11.
Yeah, for sure.
Comment from Dan says, as a non-Haaland loan, I'm placing a bet on Haaland hat-trick. I mean, that's a good idea, because if Haaland obviously doesn't get a return, it's happy days for FPL. But if he does get a hat-trick, you get some money. So you get a win-win, I think.
Sorry, I was just going to say, what is Salah's ownership? But I've not actually checked. Is it around the 30%, or is it higher?
He's about 36.
36, okay.
Yeah. So he's 20% less than Haaland.
Yeah, okay. But that is it, guys. It's 11 a.m. That is the deadline. So hopefully you've locked your teams in. We're probably going to wrap it up here. We're going to go watch Man United and Brighton play in the 12:30 kickoff. And then we will be back again tomorrow at 7 after the Liverpool game to stream to just see how we've done. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Jordan? Or anything else you want to discuss?
I think that about wraps up most of discussions for this deadline stream. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good game week. Green Arrows all away.
Yep.
And obviously it's the bank holiday weekend, so enjoy that wherever you have planned to.
Yep.
Also enjoy the football throughout the weekend too.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you tomorrow after the Liverpool game.